diving, horseback riding, and jumping in and out of a plane. Let's get started. Hey, how you doing? I'm going up on stage. Oh, we lost the music. Well, it goes something like this. He's the greatest presenter you're going to hear all conference. And there it is. I hear it up here. Ah, well, some technology, huh? Welcome to the Visuolution. Fiverr is usually pretty good for that, so we'll play it again maybe at the end. More data has been produced in the last 2 years in combined history of the human race. You've heard that, right? We've got a data problem headed our way. So let me ask you this. Is this a visualization of all that data? It might be where all data ends up eventually. It's actually an artist's representation of a black hole. In fact, scientists needed to make an artist representation, right? This isn't all numbers. This is a picture that communicates something, data visualization. But to actually take the picture, we had to make a camera the size of our planet. 14 different research facilities across the planet gathered tons and tons of data, 500 terabytes. They had to assemble them, thousands of hard drives, just to take a picture of a black hole. A picture of a black hole. They had the data, they had numbers, right? They're with me here at Tableau conference. And there it is. It took them a long time to assemble it, but now we have a picture, a real-life picture of a black hole. Apparently, just next year, there's going to be more data than the stars in the universe. Are we ready for that? Are our users ready for that? Wow, right? And that's probably not even all of them. I don't even know what a zettabyte is. I know it's a really, really big number. We have a tsunami of data coming at us, and it's all of our responsibilities to help our users that understand it, right? For us as analysts to understand it, but as BI managers, we need to help. And what do we need? Because we don't want to end up like that. And by the way, that's not a deep fake. That's an old-fashioned way of taking a picture and putting it on its side. Hopefully you've seen that at Universal. Right? How do we keep up? Well, I look towards some help. So Gartner does a lot of this research for me, and I take a look at it. I actually had the opportunity to go to their conference a few weeks ago. And if you're not familiar, Magic Quadrant helps us pick technology platforms. And then the hype cycle is another good thing that helps us tell what's really true and not, and how far along is it. We're going to look at both of those. The good news, and you probably know this, Tableau is a Magic Quadrant, right? And this is what they say about the trends impacting BI and analytics. Mode 1 and Mode 2, when I came to my first Tableau conference in 2012, I heard Christian tell all of us his vision for Mode 2, and that was a long time ago. And now we're talking about augmented analytics, NLP, cloud. All of these things are being baked into our favorite product, right? And that's because we need a hero. We need all of this. I just said 2012, so I've been doing this a little while, right? One of the first presentations I saw with Batman's belt, they said, Tableau is one of your favorite tool on the utility belt. Today, I say it's mostly the whole suit, right? We just saw Gartner say what we need from BI tools. Visualization, to me, is the exoskeleton because it's what I need to go into battle. And it's a battle getting people to let go of Excel, right, for visualizations. And the tool belt are all these other amazing things. And one of the things I want to show you is some examples of visualizations and how we can battle Excel. Some embedded analytics and why I think it's important that we use that to be able to combine a lot of things that we need when we go to fight And augmented tools, there's some amazing things that just in the last year you might have thought is only the realm of data scientists, but now they're at our disposals as BI managers. Some of them are getting built right into Tableau. Some of them are up to us to understand and know so that we can use them to help our users have a better experience. And we're continually enhancing. So we want to talk about toolkits and the pipeline to do that. Because do you remember in the Batman movies, I never really saw Batman making all of his tools. You know, it's sort of like, well, maybe it's the special ops division, right, of Wayne Enterprises. That's sort of how it seems. But I bet you Batman did not get in his suit, in his exoskeleton, without fully knowing the capabilities. And he certainly didn't go out and tackle some bad guys with some stuff that he never tested or he didn't understand. So hopefully today, that's my goal, is to help us understand some really cool things to help us overcome this avalanche of data coming. So let's talk about the data visualization first. And who is Doug? Hopefully you saw some of the pre-show, and I'm not going to go into a lot of that. Hopefully you got a sense. But I work for PNC Bank, the 8th largest financial services institution and in the US. And this is how we use Tableau. 50% is the business, right? So it's very business generated. I'm not going to erase business and IT, right? We do that a lot. Our primary use is reporting. Interesting, right? I wonder how you guys stack up to that. I have a feeling there's a lot more reporting going on. And then 20% in a survey that we had of all of our 130 Tableau server sites, 20% said it was mission critical. Look at the not sure, though. I think those people didn't know. They were like, I think it is. I don't think I intended it to be mission critical, but it is. I'm pretty sure that's how we would answer that one. And if you look back when we started, this was the technology folks. Now, along the story this afternoon, I'm going to show you how we've bridged the gap, and now you can see in the bottom, our technology group is actually getting way more involved with using Tableau themselves, and that helps us, I think. But what about you? What do you use Tableau for the most? Do you use it for reporting? I suspect yes. Well, so do I. My department at PNC, we built a data mart that has all of the lending products, applications from auto dealerships when you go and get a new car, when you go to a branch and you take out a loan on your home equity, a credit card application, business banking, all of those applications come through my database that my team built. And we look at the sales side. So we're really interested in the sales funnel. So you'll see some of these examples be about the sales process, when we took an application and the pipeline and how we're booking. And those type of analytics are what we're going to talk about. But I came to PNC to manage a reporting shop. And what we're going to talk about, hopefully, is how I've changed that along the way, because we need to revolutionize our reporting. And we can do that. And I say that if you're wondering about how you change your organization, reporting is key because it's so widely used, right? Because you've already seen this, a data-driven analytics culture, we're all failing, and only 8% of it are getting right. Well, how about if we leveraged our reporting to change these numbers? We've got people really depending on the reports. How about we make the reports better? Oh, Doug, no, more disruption? Yes, let's disrupt reporting, huh? Well, how do we do that? Well, what questions are your dashboards answering? I would say the one we could all agree on is, are you achieving goal? Right? A dream without a plan and a deadline is just a dream. So we have to measure this to drive our organizations forward. This is a pretty advanced calculation, actual divided by goal. But what about this calculation? As business intelligence leaders, managers, I'd say this is your goal, our goal, because that's adoption rate. This is number of users with access and the distinct users. So that is our adoption rate. Is anyone using our dashboards, because we know this: if a tree falls and no one hears it, if you make a dashboard and no one uses it, does it provide an insight? Are you checking? Do you know? Is your adoption rate satisfying to you? Now let's think about the other thing we need to do to disrupt our reporting. Let's talk to the real Bruce Wayne here, I hope.
Say I'm going to dump it into Excel.
All right, let's give him another try. Bruce, are you out there?
One that I really love is after I see this view, I will, or you ask somebody, so after you get this, what are you going to do? And if they say, I'm going to dump it into Excel, find out what it is they do in Excel, because Tableau can probably do that for them. And then keep on going with that, and that's where you end up with dashboards that are really actionable. So my goal with dashboards that I'm building is I want the next thing somebody does after they see this dashboard to be pick up the phone and call somebody, or they're going to send an email, or they're going to do something, they're going to tweak a knob on a control to change a process. That there's something they take out of the real world that is more than just informational.
So that was Jonathan when he was talking at the Pittsburgh Tug, and he told everyone about actionable, right? Make it actionable. So the secrets are, let's make really good pictures, let's get them embedded where people are doing their work, and let's make sure that when they're using it, it helps them do their job quicker by making it actionable. We do that, it's going to be pretty sticky. And they're going to say, you know, when Tableau server's down or slow, they're going to say, burn down your phone, like, get it fixed, because I want it, not, you know, I'll look at it tomorrow. We want people to be calling us when our dashboards are down for any kind of reason. Because this is our goal, maximum adoption, right? It's our goal, and let's look at it. So this is one of my users, Dirk, and he is the manager of all of the auto dealerships. Dirk has a really, really big goal, billions of dollars he's got to bring in new sales to from the auto dealership. So when you go to buy your car, when they go back into that room to figure out if they're going to give you that deal, that guy that they're talking to, Dirk's guys talk to them. And he's trying to help them manage the relationship they have with their bank and make sure we get you the best offers and also pay them. So that's what it's about. Now, Dirk, you know, he reports up through here. Now, Dirk well, there's Dirk, there's 3 managers that report to him. There's like 35 of these relationship managers. There's an admin. There's 8 other people. So that's 48. And here's our adoption dashboard. And if we take a look at that 48 and we were to plug it in, say if it was a parameter, we've got total users here. And we can see that Dirk's people use these dashboards a lot. In fact, I got 100%. I even have over 100 to check that calculation. But what I really want to point out to you is this top one. This is a scatter plot of all the dashboards that Dirk has. And this one is the most visual. So this is my most highly used dashboard. And there are other ones down there that are Excel-like, but they're just not used as much. So we're going to take a look at that. I love this one. VJ just did this dashboard in like 20 minutes, which is pretty amazing to me. And he's probably, you know, cringing that I'm showing it because we had to go reverse clockwise, right? This needs a bit of a makeover to make it easier to use, but it still has a lot of information that he made, and it's only for, you know, Tableau conference. Sorry, VJ. So now let's talk about this portal that Dirk uses. There's a portal that's embedding, and he wants to see what Susan's doing today. Or maybe if Susan comes in, she's going to go right to this view because our portal knows. Today, Susan, whose territory is from Miami to Jacksonville, she's going over here by Cape Canaveral. And if Dirk needs to see a similar view, he searches for her in the top. If she needs to see information about her dashboard, she has this report menu that lets her see other things and other reports that she needs right at a glance. So we've made this easier for them to use. When they told us about their work, we interviewed the day of the life. We didn't show them a bunch of dashboards. And we listened. And when we rolled out the dashboard, the sales execs asked me, where did you come up with Dealer City? We never told you Dealer City. We listened to your story. And we knew that you went to a city and saw all the dealers in a city. That's how you organize your day. So we made our dashboard help you and pre-filter it. We're going to take a look at more. But that's listening and getting in the flow. Just a few clicks make such a difference. And they're amazed. They don't even call this Tableau. It's just an amazing technology. It's so different from some of the other dashboards that they use even at P&C. There's also some tasks that they can do. So there's other lending systems that are embedded. And even this color scheme, I, again, am a little bit, wow, you know, Tableau conference. This color palette was picked because it matches other applications they use. So they have other applications that I don't have control over, and these colors match. So that's another important thing for them to be able to understand their data without doing some sort of translation. And then we have other tools for them that they're going to be able to see and use. And then also what my portal helps them do, and they don't really know it, I get data back. It's sending information to Google Analytics. I can actually see real time if somebody were on there, if somebody's on the portal. And I can also push back telemetry about the things they're clicking on. Tableau Server tells me a lot of stuff about how many hits, but here I can see what they're clicking and what they're interacting to the degree I want to. So that's some of the portal. That's a highly utilized dashboard and dashboard system, a reporting system. But even though we do that, and you roll it out, let's say you go back and you copy everything. What are your users going to ask? And we all know that's not good for them, right? I mean, oh, whoops, no, that's not true. Do we really want text tables? Think about it. Oh, wow, my weight, you know, it's kind of trending there. You know, I was not sleeping really well. Maybe that's because I'm preparing for a presentation, but my stress level's pretty good for being on stage. If Sewickley's that cold, I am not going back there. Oh, but, you know, the commute's a little bit better in Mandalay Bay, but it might be about the same time. Oh, and this one. This is how many steps it takes to mow my grass. Yeah, it's a lot of grass to mow. If I gave you an Excel spreadsheet in those same 20 seconds, would you have, and you'd still be looking over it and you wouldn't care. But our phones are teaching us and teaching our users to expect that. They're training them. Our branch managers want information like that. And not only that, when you have somebody come up to you and say, oh, I want this to download in Excel, and your requirements, and you're feeling like, tell them to pull out their phone and show you an app that shows their data in Excel. Maybe there's one out there. Maybe somebody's making that one. But we really want visualizations, right? Here's another guest speaker that's going to help us.
Decisions or make recommendations, and that flows through the whole organization. The more data you have, quite frankly, sometimes the easier it is to make it get to the point, but sometimes it's harder. So, you know, the challenge that we all have in making business decisions is making sure we're making the right one, fully informed by the information that's available. So the ability to present it clearly is critical.
Awesome. Guys, so for those of you that are developers making content that you want Joe to see, what he just said is less is better for a busy executive. Very concise. Draw them right to the point. And there's different types of audiences. There's analytical, there's executives, there's people in between that have to take actions. That message was at our Iron Viz, and that was one of our C-suite. It took us years, right? Like you, we probably, I hope not like you, but I imagine like you, we had to build from the ground up. We finally had an Iron Viz on a stage worthy of an Iron Viz. We had C-suite people come, and that was broadcast to all 1,500 plus Tableau developers at P&C. And they heard that message, and they also saw Iron Viz These Iron Viz contestants, 3 weeks before, I wasn't sure we should do it. I looked at the preliminary rounds, and I'm like, we're going to stream this live. We're going to have them on stage. But in those 3 weeks, they went from, not bad, to amazing. They were competing for a trip to Las Vegas the last time. And they found Zen Masters. They found YouTube. They found all these things that PNC prohibits somehow on their own, and they developed themselves to be a lot better. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a very quick how I rolled out dashboards to around 3,000 branches. Now, I said that in Pittsburgh not too long ago to our Pittsburgh Tug, and they're like, Doug, what were you doing lately? Last year, I rolled out these dashboards to branches. And they're like, okay, well, that's not really hard. I think they were thinking I rolled out Excel dashboards. We'll see. And the secret to this that I want you to really remember is, what questions do your dashboards answer? Because I think that is the secret to making the best visualizations. Now, I'm going to zip through this really fast, but the only other thing you need to know before we go is, again, it's application pipeline, but it's any kind of pipeline. So think of it as a sales pipeline where you have something and you want to convert it, right? You get a lead in and you want it to book or close and get revenue. All right, so let's take a look at how I actually demonstrated our dashboards for the first time to branch managers. Are we on pace to hit our goals? Wow, funny that that comes back, right? Who would think about that? And, okay, well, there's a KPI. That's sort of Excel-like, but that's about it. It answers the question, sure, but now we have a visualization, and I can see very clearly that differential. This is this month's goal and next month's goal, actual, and we've added the pipeline. So now I'm getting a lot more information. Not only are we on pace, but are we on pace to hit future goals? Because this section shows, yes, we are. And I can visually see that, and depending on the month, we know, we're situationally aware that we know. If that's the last day of the month, that bar's probably not so good. I didn't hit my goal. If it's the first day of the month, I'm really doing great. And that bar exceeding quickly tells me how much capacity I have, especially if I know my conversion rates. There's some other KPIs in there, right? So are we on pace to hit our goals? One question, but a lot of answers just in that one viz. And then are we growing in a healthy way? A lot of times I'll say, well, they would answer me, my pipeline grew $1 million. And I'd say, well, what if I told you my pipeline grew 0? You'd be, well, Doug, stick with the visualization because you suck as a salesperson. But if I said I took in $1 million in new and I closed out or booked it and converted 100%, that's a different story, right? That's where this viz falls in. The net change, this is the net of what's going, and it helps them see in a positive or negative way that conversion rate very quickly through this viz. Are we continuing to trend, right? Oh, that was great, but what's going on right now? Of course, throw the trend on there. Very similar kind of information that they can see the trends, because that's important. Back on this side, okay, we've already answered I'm on pace, but that 109, what's the condition? Because that's really important. So here we show aging. How old are these applications? And the green actually starts on this side and comes across. So when I hit this blue patch, that's the applications or the deals that are ready to close for me to take action. And you just happen to notice that that fits right in here. These are old enough. So now I have more confidence I'm going to hit this month's goal. And I kind of have an idea about the aging and the sweet spots. And then the rest are, how do I maximize bookings? Those can be things that are getting stuck in the pipeline, things that maybe exited the pipeline that I want to keep an eye on. And of course, the big deals make or break you. So let's take a look at those and see visually where those are in the pipeline. When I showed this dashboard, if I would have just shown it like this, they would have had first viz shock. You've had users do first viz shock, right? But now, because I broke it down into those quadrants, they see answers to their questions, the most important ones that they told us they needed answering. And not only that, we let them play with the data, right? It's easy to add some parameters for them to kind of still move things around and get it however they want. But we don't let them download. Honestly, that's part of it. And we wrap it around the portal. So when they see something here, there's insights that they have, and they need to go do their job, they can click on these different areas. But what they love most is their favorite Tableau feature is called Email Salesperson. You know the button on there somewhere in Tableau that's Email Salesperson? If you asked anybody at PNC, you know, Doug, he was at a Tableau conference, they would tell you, oh, we love Email Salesperson. But all that is integrating, and that's a very simple, that's in the flow, right? When we get them down to something that's causing trouble, they click on it, and it opens up an email. They didn't have to copy, paste. It's silly how little that seems time, but it's huge. And then we've integrated it with their loan system. So if they see that, they can go right in, and I don't carry all that data. They go right into the lending system. And those things are integrated. It makes their job easier, makes them come here, because application data they really don't need every week. I mean, they don't have to look at this, right? But I make their job easier. And this is what they said. It's kind of weird to have a case study on your own dashboards, user groups and everything. Make things happen. I mean, the branch manager loved it. The visual's what they like, the quick visual. It puts it in focus. Yeah, but there were some obstacles. So there's my happy manager. In fact, this one here, Mark was showing her the dashboards, and there were a lot of people that said she would never understand this. In fact, the number one is failed first visitors. You know those, right? The ones that, oh, show me, show me, show me. Okay, take a look at this dashboard. And then they come back and they're like, those people will never get a scatter plot. And then they come back and they're really against. And so getting involved with those people and helping them get on the right path is incredibly important to us. The middle managers, right, they're the ones that want that information control. And then, of course, data, data, data. Well, how could we tackle data? Because that's super important, right? Let me show you one last visualization. This one is, oh, these are all the processes that load for my dashboards to be available. Would you say I have a good day or a bad day? There's a lot of red on there, right? I'm not thinking I have a good day. You know, click on one, I can filter, I can see, wow, there's a lot of bad processes. Now, this is a time dimension of it, so the top line shows when it starts, when it's supposed to start, when it did start, when it completed. Down below are the 60-day averages and where they are, and you can see a wide range. But when I made this viz and started sharing with my technology partners, something interesting happened. All of a sudden, I started getting vizzes like this with blue. And I could see, wow, that's pretty good. And they improved the processes significantly. We post this on our embedded share point and in email, right, subscriptions. So now instead of taking a good part of the morning wondering if my dashboards are up to date and have good data, I know right away, my users know right away. But I've also built a partnership because I came to conference many years ago and saw these guys, and I said, wow, PNC, we're really behind. They were behind on the version of Tableau server than we were, but they were working together. I went back determined to bring my IT department together with me, and this is what my IT department partner just said recently about this. Get them involved. Share your wins. Those are some of the secrets that I have. Every time I get a, wow, those are the greatest dashboards ever, I send it to them and I thank them. Thank you for keeping this on. You might not see this, but they're thanking you because you keep everything running, smooth, and good data. And we have to build that. So hopefully you are convinced that we can visualize our reporting. So that leads to the embedded analytics. That's the portal, right? What can we do here? So Tableau plus portal, I think you saw in the demonstration, it's sort of like this: comfort, ease of use. There's a lot of things embedded in the portal. These are the main things that our users wanted. We whiteboarded to this degree. And this is another question around, why do you need embedded analytics? Why do you need that portal? Well, this, of course, is my user satisfaction rating for all the talks I've given. And if I would have shown you at the beginning, you'd be like, wow, this is really great. Even if his intro doesn't go quite right, I'm sure this is going to be one of the best. Well, that's in the flow, right? That's actually Cole's ratings and a great book. But that's in the flow. You don't go somewhere else to get that. And we need to bring those analytics into the flow, and that's what the portal helps us, and that's what some of these mobile machine learning technologies are helping us. Now, I'm not going to teach you all this. There are 29 sessions, and I hope you went to a couple of them to get a little bit of a warm-up to JavaScript. This isn't going to show a lot of code. I will show some code, but I'm not going to code through these things while you're here. But hopefully you have an appreciation. If you're interested by this, there's a lot of stuff out there. But here's the basics, right? So you need this HTML web page, and you could put this on your desktop, or you could put this on a web server, or you could put this even on your SharePoint. So the HTML is very vanilla. And then you have a container. This is where the visualization is going to go. And then we write a function to start it. And then we have a button or event, or when the page loads, let's bring in the viz. We'll take a look at that a little bit more. This is the initialization example. And here you can see that viz container shows up. And then here's the URL. This URL is what I want to show up in the container. And we can program that differently, and we can bring in other things. This one's hard-coded example. There's some options, and then there's a place for you as soon as it's done loading that you can do anything you want. And then down here at the bottom is when we load it, I now have a viz object. That viz container now is a viz object, and I can do stuff with that. In fact, I can do stuff like this. I can listen to and respond to events. If marks change, if somebody clicks on something, I can do that. I can change filters and parameters. I understand the interactions with the dashboard, and I can do stuff. We can change the dashboard items, right? So filter selections. And we can reload. So the report menu might just be a list of these URLs that can load them. In fact, that's the first one, right? This report menu. All that does is change the URLs. So you could have a list or an array. You could have a connection to a data source. But all it is really that list. And then we have custom user roles. So for us, a branch manager or a salesperson is different. They might need a different menu. We know the portal's outside, and it knows more information than just the user. And it can make a unique experience for them. Search, that's one that I showed you a little different way, but a geography manager can search for somebody else. An executive can look for a product. We can build in search features. And then share. This one is when you've gotten a lot of things set, and you want to, how do I share this? We want to make it easier. So you can say, this viz plus all of these filters, render them when you get back. And then one of my favorites is geolocation. So wouldn't it be nice if my RMs knew what city, like my dashboard knows what city they're in, even if that's not the one they're going to? Well, that's where this HTML geolocation. And this is one I wanted to share with you. This is just, if you were to Google HTML geolocation, this is a simple code. It's starting the navigator, which is part of the web browser, and I can get information. And it's not just the geolocation. Let's give it a try. If I use and run that code, this is what I get. Latitude and longitude of the device. And that's even was on my laptop. So there's some challenges with it, but that gets you information that you can then use as a data source filter. You can pass in a parameter to your data source filter, re-render the viz, and now all of a sudden you've got an around me type dashboard. Or you can put a fake record, right? You can add or append or union a record that's my data, and you can then use the parameters to change the latitude and longitude of that record. And now, if that's your key on your dashboard, you can do some things where it's relevant to that position. This is some pretty cool stuff that you need the portal for. Not that hard to do, but it can change your user's experience. It can make it easier. And if you think about your phone or your device, all of the other features and sensors that you have are easily accessible. You can get speed and motion and latitude. You can get elevation. All through your phone. So those things are there that we could use to work with our dashboards. Now let's take a look, because the next section where we talk about the mobile, to talk about the machine learning, this is going to come in to be pretty important. When I actually initialize a viz, this is just a viz, and I have a bunch of parameters, and you can see them here. They've been calculated so that they just display this. And we were trying to actually do a buffer for a lifetime. Now, I just set this to 0. You notice this one just disappeared. So that's the dashboard. I just changed the parameter. But now when I click the button, The JavaScript changed the parameter. So if I have parameters inside my dashboard, JavaScript can change them. Remember that. I mean, that might be a bad example, but, or not a clear example, but we're going to be changing parameters with our dashboard. This is one of the ways on changing filters as we go on. So this is, again, kind of what it looks like. It's just once you have that viz object, you want to change it to something else. Obviously, it'd be more dynamic with a variable, but it's set the parameter down there in the middle. So let's talk about machine learning. Oh, wait a minute. Is it over yet? I heard clap. So when I've given talks before, I always forget this part. So I wanted to mention it early on. We're going to go into the last section, which is the machine learning stuff. But please remember, if you can give me feedback, that would be great. I would love to be, 5 stars there, just, if you feel great. So when you see the slide again, please, whatever your thoughts are, give some feedback to Tableau. All right, let's talk about Gartner trends and machine learning models. Augmented analytics, right? We have another hero here. He's in a suit of armor, he's flying, and he doesn't have time to work with his hands. He needs these augmented analytics, right? Gartner says that's around the corner for us. And fortunately, Tableau's working on that. But we need to think about more immersive ways, and I think the JavaScript is one way. A number 3 trend is NLP, conversational analytics. So conversational analytics are here in natural language processing. I would imagine that Tableau is pretty far along that, right? We've seen some Ask data and some great examples here this week. The number 5 trend, this one is that models will be like an iStore, iTunes, Spotify, an App Store. So what's happened, or at least what I've observed in the last year, is there was a lot of stuff just data science could do, and they would make a model. But now you're seeing all these models that are open source and available, and we can use them. We can retrain them. Those things are becoming easier. And what I'm going to talk about now is still using those models to help your user experience, but you can use those in so many different ways. And I can't really come up with a great model with all of the data I have on applications at P&C. I could get a pretty good model that tells me what P&C's customers are like, but how do applications perform? I really need a lot more data of all applications in general. So I'm going to need somebody to make that data set that maybe I'd retrain on some specific area that I want at P&C. But that's how they see this coming, is that there will be this marketplace of these models that will be able to retrain. And that's one of Gartner's forecasts. And then this one's pretty cool. So machine learning in the browser. We're going to talk about TensorFlow JS. And what's cool about this is it's just as simple as the other code we saw, in that it runs in the browser. And when you bring this model in, there's also a sense of privacy that we're working towards. So a model running on your phone or your laptop doesn't have to transmit that information to a cloud. It can run, and that's quicker for the user, but it's also more private for the user, and it can help them make a customized user experience. So there's more about that, but that's really why JavaScript's important. And then there's this one. I need my cheat sheet. All right, demo time. So this open space is going to be a microphone, because we all like talking to our remote control for the phone, right? Viz command, voice command, viz command. Hey Alexa, hey Google. So let's give this a try. Alexa, open dashboard 1. Oh, sorry. Hey Google, open dashboard 1. Maybe it opened in there. Oh, wait a minute. Jarvis, open dashboard 1.
Fetching your favorite dashboard leader of the Viz solution.
Oh, dashboard 1, my favorite dashboard. Jarvis, open Cerebro.
Fetching the Cerebro dashboard Jedi Master Doug.
Oh, I think I'm liking this. Oh, I know. Jarvis, open the Simpsons dashboard.
Fetching the Family Tree Zen Master Wannabe.
All right, we're going to have a talk later, Jarvis. I told you never to talk when I'm on stage. I know you can't see right now, but all right. So speech recognition, that was a silly example, but it's really this simple. The speech recognition engines on our phones or on our laptops are already there, and we can access them directly, and we don't even have to go to the cloud. Now the cloud is starting to get even better interfaces and models that we can use that make it even better than our laptops. But Siri, you're basically using whatever artificial intelligence or speech recognition is on the device. And you can access it fairly simply and make a demo like that. But this is why it's super important. Have you heard of BERT? And I'm not talking, you know, BERT, Ernie, although our examples are, I don't know, BERT's a superhero. This is understanding searches better than before. If you notice, even within the last 2 weeks, that your Google searches and your fill-ins got better, it's because Google just implemented a major, major upgrade to the search engine. In fact, the search engine optimization crews, they're struggling because they don't know exactly. It's changing searches that much. And it says here in this article that technology enables everyone to train their own for state-of-the-art question answering. It's getting this simple, everyone. And so Tableau is going to have Ask Data. And if your user's asking something about your data or your dashboard, great. But what about the workflow? That's where we might need our own voice recognition to control a dashboard or maybe to pull up something else that they need if their hands are not available. And here's a before and after. Another example that I have that I think is really inspiration in Copenhagen, they were able to detect over the 911. A 911 call would come in, and they were able to have AI listen to that call. And it was the background noise, it was the words they said, it was the emotional sense in the vocal, the audio that they heard. And the AI actually did a better job. They did it faster, they predicted more, they had the same exact error rate, and they were able to start improving response time by helping that out. And 48 seconds, 30 seconds faster than the humans, huh? But we can still do visualization better. And actually, just a few days ago, now I put up there, I have not used this, but I saw an amazing demo on Tuesday about VoiceBase. I would check them out. They are embedded with Tableau, and it's this technology that they're using, and so it's real time, guys. It's here, and in fact, Gartner agrees. So this is the Gartner hype cycle we talked about at the beginning, and this helps you know what's close and what's not. And you can see there, speech recognition has reached this plateau of productivity. There's a lot of things here that are getting really hyped, and then there's the trough of disillusionment. But speech recognition is out there. And there's a lot of other things I think that are going to be useful for us that are in the 2-year range that we need to keep our eye on. So how do computers see, though? Jarvis didn't know I was on stage, or he would have never called me Zen Master Wannabe. And how do they learn? Well, Google's done a really nice job of telling you this, and I don't have time to show you, but there's a rock, paper, scissors, and there's a whole tutorial that can get you started around, if you're not real sure, that I'd advise you to take a look at. But it's Google's TensorFlow. And once you do that, though, they can do object detection. This is very easy now. Object detection in the browser on your mobile phone. So this would be, for instance, say, we use our phone with a dashboard, and maybe I point it at a chair or maybe a table. And maybe my dashboard was the superstore, and if I pointed at a table, it would say something about Tableau, tables unprofitable in the East. Oh, okay, maybe that's Chuck. No. You could interact and apply a filter based on what you're seeing. And that could help in inventory situations. The Pittsburgh airport now has cameras that can tell how many people are in line just by doing object detection of people. And they can calculate wait times and embed those in the analytics. There's also another great Pittsburgh company that worked on this solution. There was a pothole detection paper several years ago, but now Pittsburgh company has created a pothole detector. And so they have a camera on their cell phone mounted on a dash, and it's object detecting this. And it's then knowing between the dark and the light, and it's classifying these as severe and different levels. And then they're passing it into visualizations to help route crews. So they're able to see visualizations of where, and they're able to prioritize how quickly they can get the response units out. If you wanted to do this, a few steps real quick. Using the webcam, you could turn that on. There's different models you can look into. There's a couple examples here that they use. They have to accept it. Face detection, same thing. There's object detection, face detection. Face detection could be almost, I wouldn't use it for security, but what if you recognized your user and opened their dashboard? Or provided, maybe you turned off the dashboard if they're not looking at it, if it was really sensitive. Some of those things could be use cases. And then there's this one, the Face API. Oh, look, sentiment. So imagine like wrapping your portal, and I don't know, when the user's looking at your dashboard like that, oh, no, neutral, sad, surprised. I hope no one sees surprise when they look at a dashboard. So I actually thought between the eye tracking model and this, I would like to embed this in my dashboard in some test use cases and see how my users are reacting emotionally, right, to some of the things they're seeing, like scary. Gesture recognition, not going to show you that one. And then there's this deep fake example. I actually wish it was. Yeah, that's Elvis dancing with someone I really care about, and I think last time in Vegas, I was lucky to go home with her. Deep fakes. We have a trust crisis, right? So we need to be sensitive. As we're using these models, as we're moving rapidly into these analytics, start learning more if you don't know about and participating in how we're going to protect ourselves from deep fakes and other things. So a little bit about the last section is the Posenet demo. So there's another similar thing where I can detect poses. So if I don't know, put my hand out a certain way, took these different poses, the same kind of information it can track. And it can actually track all of these points. And one example I'm working on is to actually move the one model as it relates. And it's become a lot easier because of the teachable machine. Have you heard of the teachable machine? Here's the poses. This is super simple. This is 3 things, guys. This is, you click on it, you train, you show it a lot of pictures, you make a sound. Oh, there's clapping. You could do a clap. You can literally do clap on, clap off dashboards if anyone is old enough to think about that with lights. And so you can train these models. Then the model becomes yours. You download it, and then you access it through JavaScript, and you could control a dashboard. So nothing, right? Everything's hard before it's easy. Oh, no. I hate it when that happens. That's the hard part, right? Remember, though, you control this space. If you're worried, as soon as that wheel stops, you have the fastest bandwidth possible. right here. Make better pictures, answer questions faster, because we control this. That will help you achieve better adoption rates. And then innovate. Hopefully you saw a lot of what's going on around there. You can innovate and make it easier for your users to use their dashboards to get to the information that they need. And then think about this. This is how our world is changing. Again, from Gartner, we are going to have access to the data science in easier ways. But we need to be educated. We're going to have more assistance. It's going to be easier for us to do stuff, but we're going to have to know a lot more stuff. And why? Why should we make better reporting? Why should we make a better user experience?
It's inside out, so that if someone does ask me a question, I'll say, ooh, let me have to see about that. Like, I'd rather them ask me something that has nothing to do with the job, and I'd say, let me have to see about that. But when it comes to my business, I want to know every single thing about it.
Having the data available and seeing it, and knowing that you have way more data available now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think of the stuff that I know just from the bad reports we have.
Yeah.
Now that we're going to have good reports, imagine how much more we could know.
Right.
I like that idea a lot.
So that was one of the sales execs in a ride-along. I like that idea a lot. The users are ready for it. Our phones are training, and we need to bring better analytics into our offices and our work environments. Because here's why. Here's the value. You can save hours. You can save money. You can get a lot of people really happy. But best of all, I mean, you can take strategies to the next level. But would you ever think this? I would have never thought years ago as a reporting manager that I would see people excited about reporting. And that by taking care of these questions, they can focus on what they love and what they do best. Because you're the hero. Bruce Wayne, you're the Bruce Wayne. What was missing in that first piece, right? You're the one that's wielding this amazing technology. You need to understand. You need to answer questions with your suit of armor and get the right pictures. You need to make sure those pictures are right in the work. Analyze that work and how to make it easier. Figure out these models. How can I make a better user experience? And train. Bruce Wayne didn't have the bat suit, right? He had to become a ninja first. He had to become smarter, and he had to become a larger-than-life person and build himself up. And the suit augments his abilities. We are entering a great period of augmentation around our work. So, one last demo. Jarvis, open Posenet.
Clearance granted for secret project files.
Okay, he opened Posenet. Ooh, that was like that one.
Fetching the cocktails dashboard for you, Mr. Stark.
Party time, Jarvis! Cocktails dashboard, everyone. Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of the conference. I am happy to stay around here and answer questions. And please, help me set a record for the most 5 stars at conference, for a customer speaker at least.